Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. Crypto Stu here. 299 subscribers. So if you're listening to this and you're not subscribed, if you click fast, you can become my 300th subscriber. Only one of you gets to do it. So I'm here in the Crypto Stu studio, and I just got an email that Blockfi is reducing the amount of interest that they're giving on their deposits, and also got another email from Nexo that they are changing their platform a bit. They're changing the rate on their loans and the loan to value ratio. And there was an innovative voice in the crypto space, a guy who just came on the scene who's just blowing everybody away, who did predict that Nexo probably would change their tune or change their rates. Who was that guy? Let me see if I can find him. So if BlockFi is now bringing down their rates, whatever market forces are making them do that, chances are they're affecting all of them. So if you want to call this a loophole, like whatever I just showed you here, a loophole, it might not be open forever. That's right. Crypto Stu predicted another Crypto Stu prediction that came through 100%. Nexo is changing their rates because one of my favorite and also most popular videos is how to double your ETH and how to double your Bitcoin using the Nexo platform. I'm going to make a new one of those probably tomorrow, and then I'm going to have to make another one after the rate change because you only have a week left to do it. So I wanted to tighten that up and get that out there. But I wanted to actually, one thing that occurred to me about these platforms lowering their rates. Well, one thing is BlockFi is at a significant disadvantage to both Nexo and Celsius. The advantage that BlockFi has one advantage, at least if you're in the U.S., BlockFi's advantage is it's a U.S. company, and a lot of people like that, and they don't want to risk dealing with a company that's, from another country. So BlockFi has that advantage, but its significant disadvantages because they're in the U.S. They weren't able to issue a token, and issuing a token is just like you're just printing money. I mean, you're just giving people a little added benefit in exchange for holding your token. And I mean, look what these tokens have done. This is sorry about that. This is the Nexo token, and this is what it's done just in the past year. This is its 1 year chart. A year ago, it was 10 cents, let's call it, and now it's at $3.70 with a 2 billion market cap. Celsius, I mean, even more growth. A year ago, Celsius was 11 cents, 12 cents, and now it is at $5.76 a coin. I mean, that's unbelievable. And now imagine if you are Mr. Celsius or Mr. Nexo, and you're sitting on a big old pile of these, and they're worth a fortune now. BlockFi doesn't have that advantage. They don't get to do that. But one thing that did occur to me is that this is actually a positive thing in a way, that they're lowering their benefit. And well, I mean, Crypto Stu, why would it be a good thing that these platforms are giving you less for your crypto? I mean, that's not a good thing. Right, but there's always a lot of speculation over whether these platforms are scams. And because, especially since they're all very, they don't like to tell their public how they're generating the yield they're generating. And they all give the same song and dance. They go, well, we have competitors, and so we can't give away our secret formula for how we're generating yield. But, and then they'll give some like really hazy description of what they're doing. And that's exactly what Bernie Madoff said for decades when he was running his scam. Is he said, well, I can't give away my secret formula, but don't worry, I'm producing yield, and he of course was running a scam, and so of course he couldn't tell you how he was generating yield because he wasn't generating any yield. So a lot of people who are hesitant to use these platforms were concerned that they're just scams and they're just Ponzi schemes. Well, the thing about a Ponzi scheme is you never decrease your benefit. Bernie Madoff gave his investors the same 12% per year the entire time he was running his scam. You got 1% every month. That's the way his scam runs. You can't reduce your benefit if you're running a scam because there are people who will inevitably withdraw their funds if you reduce the benefit. And you can't have that if you're running a scam because if people withdraw their funds, you're out of business. You need constant growth if you're running a scam. So it's a little reassuring that these platforms are reducing their benefit because It means their businesses are legitimate. Their businesses are real. It should actually give you a little more confidence in putting your crypto on these platforms, in that they are reducing their rates when they aren't able to generate the yield they need to. And the reductions are significant. BlockFi, this is their second reduction in a month. They reduced a month ago, and now they're reducing again. So now you used to be able to get 6% on your Bitcoin. Now you only get 5%. And remember, they don't have a coin. There's no way to get more. They used to give it on before the previous reduction. It was up to 2 Bitcoin. Now it's only on up to half a Bitcoin. After that, it drops for 2%. They can shove their 2%. I'm not putting anything of mine anywhere for 2%. I know, there's boomers out there who still love 2%, but I ain't one of them. And Ethereum, same thing. They're lowering the interest rate that you're receiving on your Ethereum. And so, yeah, they also have the worst rates in the business as far as if you wanted to take out a crypto loan. So, I mean, the upside of BlockFi is that it's a U.S. company. So if that's something that's your concern, then yeah, it's the best game in town. It's actually pretty much the only game in town if you want to deal with a U.S. company. But Celsius and Nexo are significantly better than BlockFi in a lot of ways, especially in their loan to value ratios, the cost of the loan, and now the interest rates they're giving out. But so yeah, there was one other thought process I had on these crypto loans, and I wanted to bounce it off you guys now. I'm not saying that this is the way it is. It's an idea I had. I'm bouncing it off you. So don't call me a dumbass in the comments, all right? You can just say, I don't agree with your thoughts there, or something like that. My thought is this. Everybody knows that one of the great fears of being invested in Bitcoin and cryptocurrency is a black swan event. Now, a black swan event is like, your 1 in 100, maybe 1 in 1,000 chance that something will happen that'll just make the whole investment worthless, okay? And what I mean by that is like if Satoshi were to come back and dump all his coins on the market, or it turns out that somebody managed to crack Bitcoin's code and could access other people's accounts, all right? If Bitcoin were just suddenly worthless, that's a black swan event. And you can't prepare for a black swan event because by nature you can't know what's coming. It's a black swan event. So, one of the ways that these crypto loans are actually black swan insurance. And what I mean by that is, suppose, and I don't expect that anybody listening to this has 10 Bitcoin, but imagine you have 10 Bitcoin, all right? And your great fear is that you'll have a black swan event because that's $500,000. Let's say Bitcoin right now is $50,000 and that's $500,000. Your great fear is just a black swan event wipes you out. You're fine with dips because you're a Bitcoiner and you know dips happen. If Bitcoin goes down 50% tomorrow because of some bad news, you can live with that. But your real fear is just losing it all, all right? Well, platinum members on Nexo, and the only reason I'm using Nexo is because they have the best rates right now, but they're all changing their rates. But if you had a platinum member on Nexo, you can borrow 60% of your value, right? So if you have 10 Bitcoin, you can borrow $300,000 at 6%. So you borrow $300,000 at 6%. Now here's the thing. You have to keep that money outside the crypto system. You can't leave it in stable coins and put it on Celsius for 10% interest, which I know you'd be tempted to do because that's 30 grand. But in a black swan event, even those stable coins will probably collapse and Celsius will probably collapse. Everything collapses in a black swan event. Everything crypto related. So you can't have it in the crypto system. You have to have it sitting in a bank somewhere. It's just, or multiple banks, or I guess cash under your mattress. But it can't be in the crypto system, or else you're not really protected from a black swan event. So you take out your $300,000 loan off your $500,000 in Bitcoin, and you have that $300,000, and you're paying 6% interest on it, which is actually really reasonable. Now you're still exposed to all the upside of Bitcoin, and of course, if there's a dip, you're exposed to that, and you'll probably have to cover if there's a big enough dip. But a black swan event is no longer a concern of yours, because if Bitcoin goes to zero tomorrow because of some black swan event, well, you have your 300 grand. I mean, it's not like Nexo's coming after you like you owe them that money. It's not like when you borrow, like it was a collateralized loan. They get your collateral, which is now worthless, and you owe them dick. So, if a black swan event is something that really worries you, then actually taking out a crypto loan is a way to protect off that. That was just a thought I had. I don't know. I mean, I think it makes sense. But if any of you think it's crazy or stupid, let me know. So I'm going to be doing an updated double your Bitcoin in 1 hour video because there's only 1 week left to do it. So I'm going to do an updated video on that, and then I'll make a new video based on Nexo's new rates after they change. So yeah, Nexo, I mean, they're changing next week, even though they're changing their loan to value next week, and they're changing their interest rates by the end of May, so they couldn't wait to do them both at the same time. So I guess it's like the loophole really needs to close. Probably a lot of people are taking advantage of it, especially now. So yeah, that's all I have for today. Subscribe and hit the bell if you're digging what Crypto Stew is up to. And until next time, Crypto Stew signing off.